I'd like to share with you some of the readings that I had during the days while I was there, and each one of these is a deck, and obviously I always use that small little deck, but since I have all my kit here, I can obviously show you the cards I pulled in a separate way. I didn't start doing it right away. Part of it was the newness of the situation. Plus, when you first get to such a thing like this, sometimes the energy of the situation, maybe even a little bit of romance in the sense I'm here, I'm helping, or I'm making a difference. You know, in the immediacy of something that feels like an emergency or a crisis, that can sustain you through. What happens, though, is how do you hang in there through the 12-hour days, 13, 14-hour days when it becomes nothing but a rude gut check, where you're waking up to do all the work, to go back to do your second set of yoga, to get a little something to eat, to go to sleep, to get up, to do your morning yoga, to go to this work, to get a little something to eat, to do this work, a little bit of something at lunch, come back to do your yoga, to eat, to go to sleep, and so on. And that becomes the repetitive cycle. And so it was around, when I got there the 2nd of October, it was around the 5th where I said, you know, I really need to start drawing cards and help supplement my spiritual practices. So in this system, the center card is always the significator, and it is the controlling one that modifies these other ones. So on the 5th, this is what I got after a particularly draining day, the 4th, which was Monday, and a lot of things happened. And in this case, the point was really not so much about, and this is where knowing sometimes some of the deeper pieces is helpful, and this was about feeling the inertia of a situation and feeling like it's getting nowhere, and having the will through Mercury, this is Taurus, slowing things down, pushing on it, but not having the energy to push through, feeling caught and stuck. And so the way to move beyond this caught and stuckness is to have a fresh application of practical self-care. And that helped in that day. And the 6th came along. Disappointment. I mean, by here, definitely the romance had gone away. Of, gee, I'm here and I'm just a great, wonderful person and I'm helping these people and look at me. And we have a bit of our own ego that shows up like that in situations like this. And eventually you look at what you're doing and what it's costing you in light of what you thought you were signing up for, and you know, you need to get a bit of a fresh perspective. And so, you know, in the face of the disappointment, success comes through a more intuitive kind of approach and understanding of what's going on. I was doing a different role than I thought I was going to do when I went there, and it didn't allow for me to see the fruits of what I was doing in such a direct manner. And so there was a bit of disappointment with that. And so part of it was understanding that just because I was not able to see direct results, that it didn't mean that I wasn't part of a team doing a very useful thing. So that was the 6th. Here's the 7th. Again, this responds very much to a gut check. Aleister Crowley talks about this card is when there's a war going on, it becomes a soldier's battle because all the officers' plans have gone to pot. And it's the brute will of soldier versus soldier, and that's why it's called valor. So keeping with that theme, the impression I received was sticking with the struggle and being able to keep in there and have the gut level fight at the individual level. By having perseverance in that struggle will lead to a change, a positive change of situation. Now, actually this one was a little more difficult. I'm sorry, I didn't quite do that correctly. these were effectively reversed when you do out all the dignities. So what it is by sticking into these things, it would free up the energies for being able to persevere and get into a change of situation. Air, fire, earth, earth and air, contrary, therefore, weak, weak, somewhat strong. Water, water, earth, strong, strong, strong. Earth, earth, fire, strong, neutral, neutral. So, again, looking at those issues, just because you have a strong significator, of course, doesn't mean that everything is going well. This was a time when we were starting to downsize, and I lost a lot of my support friends and group, and it was difficult to hang in there because they were going home as we were downsizing the operation. So having the gut check and being able to stick in the game was important. So these are a few examples. I could probably show you some more of the cards that I had, but it gives you an example of what you can do in a situation like that, especially when you have a situation where you're expected to respond to a stressful one with as much grace, dignity, and poise as you possibly can. So I just wanted to share those with you. I think there's always something to be said about leaving more to be said. So I will just leave you with these examples. But think about ways in which you can do very simple activities like this. I mean, I was able to, I was always with someone, so I had to sneak away into the bathroom and go into the stall and early in the morning, and I could just do this really quick on my lap with, obviously not having to go to the bathroom or anything like that or pull down your pants. Think of ways that you could be creative to maybe do this, because sometimes we need to keep our practices to ourselves. Sometimes we can't be overt in this sense. I mean, obviously yoga is much more acceptable, but those are things to think about as you go forward in your own life and you deal with stressful things. So, hope to talk to you soon, but you never know. Sometimes life is just super, super busy. So thank you for your understanding, and I'll talk to you later. Bye now.